Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'd just like to make a shout out to all the choir that came to church today. Yay! And y'all, we're glad you're here. You say, oh, it's on. Oh, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. So we're starting a new series, and it's about Jesus' walk, and he's starting his ministry. And I'm starting out. The first talk is Jesus' preparation for his ministry. You know, when Jesus was 12 years old, he left his home and he started his soul journey. He went to, this is called the lost 18 years. And so when he was 12, he went to India, and then he traveled in China and Assyria and Egypt and all these countries. And in all this walk of his, I think of it almost as his planetary mission. You know, because he was touching all the sages of the world and all the different philosophies and religions. And he went there to learn, but he ended up teaching. It was so beautiful. But the golden thread that he wove through all of his experiences was love. He never deviated from love, the love of God, and the God within all. And it was a beautiful message. So now, after 18 years, he's 30 years old. He makes it back. He makes it back home. And so preparation for his ministry. And now his ministry is for the Jewish people. That's his core that he came to teach. He teaches everyone, but he came to teach his people. And it was a ministry for the Jewish people. And Jesus' postulate, what he came to give the world in his walk, love is Son of God. Love is Son of God. And that's what his mission was. Like we are all the sons and daughters of God. That's what he told us. There wasn't any separation. No one was better than anyone else. Everyone was integral to the whole. Love is Son of God. And that was pretty revolutionary at the time on the planet. And it's kind of revolutionary now, but here we are. Let's pick up the gauntlet and charge into life, being love. How's that? Oh, so Jesus' ministry was one of enlightenment, evolution, and change. Enlightenment, evolution, and change. He gave people a new idea of who they were, a new vision of who they were. He showed them how to change, and it was okay to change. Change is good. We're in the process of allowing ourselves to accept change as good instead of wrapping it all up with past emotions, fears, ideas, definitions, whatever. It's just change. Isn't that silly to say that? It's only change. It is only change. And then, you know, the bumper sticker, this too shall pass. Has everyone experienced that in their life? We might experience something that we thought was the end of the world, and it passes. And you know what? When we look back, we go, that wasn't that bad. We've grown, we've expanded, we've evolved. We got enlightened by our experience. So his walk with the Jewish people, he would change their relationship with God. So that cord of love running through everything. So his teaching, God is love. God's your Father. God's within you. Where before, God was outside of you. God was judging you, punishing you, withholding. And if you're good, maybe giving. So he was changing their whole relationship to their relationship with God individually and collectively as a people. And that's why he's working with his people, because now he's building a dynamic that can spread out into the world. So he comes back after he's 30 years old. He's been journeying for 18 years. He comes back. He meets up with John the Baptist, his cousin, you know, and talks with him and everything. And then he's baptized by John the Baptist, you know. John goes, I don't want to baptize you. I don't need to baptize you. I know who you are. Jesus said, no, you have to baptize me because I'm going to demonstrate that it's good for everybody to be baptized. Did you see? He was all-inclusive in everything he did. He did not set himself above anything or anyone else. No, I need to be baptized like everyone needs to be baptized. And it was very powerful. just that action. So starts out, I'll just go over a few things from the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ. So after Jesus was baptized, and most of us have either seen the movie or heard it, where a dove descends from the sky and lands on his shoulder and said, this is my son. God, the words are, this is my son in whom I'm well pleased. And John had already told the people that Jesus was the love of God made manifest. So then we have this demonstration that people can see. And so after that, we would call this the wilderness experience, where Jesus goes into the wilderness, he goes into the desert, and he has these temptations and things like that. So here, I'll pick it up. And he went forth into the wilderness to be alone with God, that he might look into his inner heart and note its strengths and weaknesses. So he had to go away to go within his heart. And within his heart, note his strength and worthiness. I said weakness, worthiness. His strength and worthiness. That's a big one for all of us, to be able to go within and begin to understand and know our strength, but then to accept our worthiness. Because if we can feel we're worthy, we're going to take any step that we're guided to take. So that's what he did. And he's been in this journey, and he's been working with people all over the world, and connecting with God and the God within. But now he's changing, okay? So when we create, so he's creating a new relationship with his people. And so by creating this new relationship with people, the people could change. So he wasn't going to do it the same old way. The people were looking for a Messiah that they'd read about in their history books and their Bibles, and to be a Savior, a Messiah. Okay? So Jesus came to free people. And then within he has to say, I hope I can be strong enough to do this. And don't we all ask ourselves that question when we're making a change in our life? We've had a certain shift in consciousness. Gosh, I hope I'm strong enough to keep this up. We might make an inner commitment to do something. See, going within, noting our strengths and worthiness. It's the Father within. Doesn't get much stronger than that. And when I stand before the face of man and they demand my proof of Messiahship, what will I say? And don't we feel we have to describe or defend ourselves a lot of times in life? So he's going, they're going to be asking me these questions. What am I going to do? And then we have the temptations, and he's tempted by one time to say, oh, if you're the Messiah, turn these stones into bread. I said, it's no proof of Messiahship that I can change stones into bread. Magicians can do that. Okay. Then another temptation was, hey, why don't you go into town, climb up on the steeple, and jump off? And the angels will save you because it says God will take care of his ministers. He goes, no, I'm not going to tempt God. I'm not going to tempt the Lord. And then the next temptation was, wow, you are so great. You can create your own teachings and your own ministry, and you can have all the wealth and honor of the world. I didn't come for that. Those are baubles in the game of life. And then he says, but Jesus said, away from me, all tempting thoughts. My heart is fixed. I spurn this carnal self and its vain ambition and pride. And those three temptations were of the human self, the carnal nature. Control of nature, control of the air, control of man through wealth. And don't we see that? And haven't we seen that play out through history? So he said, that's not what I am here for. That's not what I am about. I'm about the soul. So he's introducing a new vision of self, a soul identity. when he's introducing this higher consciousness into raised consciousness, we're asked to make a change. We're asked to create a new relationship with the outer. It's just like when we all make that change, a commitment to ourselves to do something, to have an experience, to attain a goal or whatever. That's that inner. It's coming to the inner. And a lot of times we have to, when we have that commitment, our world may become chaotic and with lots of questions and doubts and fears. And so what we have to do, and that all those are coming from our ego. And so what we're doing is we're going to create a new relationship in the outer. We're going to refine our ego. We're going to give our ego a new role. A new role. Hey, Mr. Ego, I want you to take the role as being loved instead of being judged. You see? Now, wouldn't that affect our whole perception of life, our whole manifestation? To change the inner thought, the inner belief, I am unworthy, to I am the beloved. These are all inner changes that he was introducing to people through his whole ministry. The stories that he told, the manifestations that he demonstrated, the healings that he enacted, they all stemmed from faith, and faith is within. So that faith within transformed the outer. And that's the story. It's so beautiful. A new relationship with the outer. So what we're doing and what he was doing, disconnecting from what is. So he was disconnecting the Jewish people from their understanding of who they were and what God was, who God was. So let's just disconnect. I'm not going to throw it out. Wait a second. And now reconnect at this higher level of consciousness. To disconnect from a God of fear, judgment, unworthiness, to connect with a God of love and blessings. Disconnect from what is, this is what is, and I want to connect with what can be. And that's what we all do when we go through life, don't we? When we move out of one situation, don't we have to disconnect it? Let me disconnect from that and everything that's wrapped up into that. Our thoughts, beliefs, our identity, our energy. I'm going to disconnect with that. This may not be working for me. It might be working for a company that's just not working anymore. It's not fulfilling, doesn't feed you. This isn't working. So a simple act of disconnection is, I'm going to start looking for another job, and then I'm going to reconnect with a company, person, place, thing that I can relate with at this higher level of consciousness that see me as I want to be seen now. I don't want to be seen as a slave or unworthy. I want to be seen as worthy with a positive contribution in my life. And this is a transformation that's happening on the planet right now. And it began with Jesus. It's beautiful. So he tells them, I'm not worried about all this. He goes, I will focus on every word and deed. That's how people know him. They'll know him by every word and deed, okay? And what that is, he did everything from the perspective of love. You see? No ulterior motive, no ego, no personality. He did, his words and his actions came from that pure, unconditional love of God. He knew who he was. That's who he is. I will not use God to prove self. And that's what the temptation was. If God loves you, he'll save you from jumping off a cliff. You see? I'm not going to tempt the Lord. You see? I'm not going to tempt God. You know, I'm just going to be who I am and have that relationship with God. And so how to not prove God, one way to not prove God is just through everyday simple acts of kindness. You see? And they shall know you by your fruits. The simple acts of everyday kindness are beautiful gifts that we can give to our brothers and sisters and give to the world, give to race consciousness. And then his third statement, I will focus on spirit. I'll focus on spirit. Okay, I will focus on oneness. I won't focus on separation anymore. And see, the world then was really, when all his travels, he saw the separation that was created in all the different religions and philosophies. Went to 7 different countries. And they were all separated from the core belief of God and who God was. And then even the Jewish people were separated from God because God was outside of them. And so, no, we are one. We are one. God's your Father, and that's why everything that he did, you know, if your brother asks you for your coat, give him 2, you see. All these little simple acts of kindness unhook us from past patterns, behaviors, and identities that aren't the truth of who we are. Because the truth of who we are is love. And if we know we're love, we're going to be love and share and give and be kind. But know that in the same instant, God is flowing to us and through us, supporting and supplying us in all of our needs, desires, and dreams. Pretty evolutionary, pretty freeing. So what Jesus was doing in his walk was he was presenting spiritual life in a physical way. And this was through daily living. His daily living, our daily living, to begin to understand that everyone is important every day, not just one day a week or one day a year. Daily living is very beautiful, 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 beautiful. And Jesus is paving a new way for the sons of men to follow. So this is why he said, follow me. You know, when he was walking with his disciples this 3 years, you know, he would, as it went on, he would disconnect them from the old rituals and dogma of their Jewish faith. And then connect them up with a higher love. They go, Master, aren't we going to go on a festival? No, we're going out in the desert. We're going to commune. We're going to teach. We're going to lift. So we're going to lift our consciousness. Lift our consciousness. That's what Jesus' job was, to lift our consciousness, to shift us into a new way of living. A new way of living our truth, which is love. It's beautiful. So that postulate of that he brought to his people was love is Son of God. Love is Son of God. And God is our Father. And God is love. So we are the sons and daughters of God. We are the male, female expressions of love on the planet. That's who we are. And so don't you think we have to disconnect from some of those identities or beliefs or patterns or shoulds that the world might expect of us or demand from us? Within our heart is our truth and will guide us to our perfect expression and even to our perfect experience. And so when he's talking to the people, he's asking the people to join him in a movement that'll change the world. It's still going on. It's still going on 2,000 years later. And we're being asked now, even now, to take it to another higher level. To take it to a higher level, okay? All inclusive. Everyone is integral to the whole. Everyone is important. So Jesus changed our story. How's that? And don't we all individually change our story sometimes? It's not who I am anymore. I don't want to go there anymore. We have to change our story if we want to get where we're going. I mean, there's a Buddhist saying that if you stay on your path, you'll get there. You're the chooser. If that path isn't serving you, and you want to go where it's leading, get on your new path. You see? And follow your heart. That was the teaching of Jesus. Within you, that love. So that's how he's working with the people. He's working with individuals, but he's working with this big collective. And we know the power of synergy. The more we can get going, it can explode, can expand. Jesus probably had, but we know the 12 disciples, but he always had foreign masters working with him, and then a bunch of other people that were still disciples, but weren't the chosen ones that we have in the book. But it may have been, totally 120 people. How's that? And look at the teachings of Jesus on our planet now. Pretty exponential from 120. To think about how divine order plays out through our life. It's amazing. And it's right there in front of us. We just have to look at it. We have to look for it, you see? We have to look for it, okay? So Jesus changed our story, showed us a new relationship with life, a new relationship with God, and a new relationship with self. You see? And that's what changing that old identity and the patterns and the thoughts that are going through us that are sabotaging us, defeating us, limiting us. Did you see? And as we begin to take that step to enlightenment, it's like, there's no saying, oh, the light bulb finally went on. Anybody say that to himself or heard him say that? Damn, the light bulb went on. Say, enlightenment. I can see clearly now. We can let go of the past. We don't have to judge it. That was our story. And that's how we related to life and ourselves at that time. When we change the story, okay, we can change a relationship. We don't have to throw it away. You see? We just change our relationship. The relationship we have with life, we have with people, places, objects, anything. And see, that's why when Jesus came, he didn't tell them to give up God. You see? No, God is. But I'm going to show you a new way of relating to God that is fulfilling, that is joyful, that's expanding, that's enlightening. This is his gift. He's working with these people. It's very powerful. And then what he did, he revealed divine love. You see, the divine love of Christ, the divine love of God. It's unconditional, accepting. And that plays out through his whole ministry, through all the parables and stories and everything that he did. And then he showed how to live his love. And there's been a few people scattered throughout time that have lived as love. And they've let go of all the trappings of our carnal nature, our need to control, even our need to fear. They've just let go of the lower experiences of life and then tried to lift people into a higher experience of life. I love, when a lot of stories of Jesus, when he helps the drunken man, and he comes to this drunken man, the city's burned, and his little daughter, Jesus, my dad, he's drunkard, he needs your help. And Jesus goes to this man who's lying in a hovel. He reaches down. David, come here, he reaches down, and he says, brother to him, brother, we've got a work to do. We've got a work to do. Jesus didn't say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to save you. No, we've got work to do here. And when he said brother, he gave my identity. You're my brother. God's your father. Then he gave him purpose, something to do. You see? Get up. You don't have to do it yourself. You see? You don't have to do it yourself. A lot of times when we think we have to do it ourselves, we stop. Wait a second. Brother, we are one. God's our source in all things. And then purpose. What's mine to do here? What is mine to do here? And it's so beautiful. And so that's what our daily living can be. you know, who am I? Identity. I am spirit. And what's mine to do today? You see? We get too far out there, or too far back there, instead of being right here. What's mine to do right now? How can I be here now? How can I be love here now? If we ask that question, the universe will show us how. Ask and you shall receive. See, we don't have to know. We have to ask. And asking is easier than knowing. Knowing takes a lot of experience, a lot of lifetimes. But we try to allow spirit, to move us. So every time we have a shift in consciousness, every one of us, doesn't our world change? I mean, we might have been at one point in our life a drug addict or an alcoholic, you see. But when we make that commitment to change, our world better change or we ain't changing. Do you see what I'm saying? But we've made that enter and it says, well, I'm not going down to that den any longer. You see? So you change your world. People next thing, it just happens. We have to make that commitment. Go within my inner strength and my worthiness. I am worthy to be a radiant, beloved child of God, sharing my gifts of love and light to the planet. You see? I am worthy. You are enough. You see? We are all enough in our unique gift to the planet. It's beautiful. You see, this is what Jesus gave us all, okay? So when we make that shift in consciousness or whatever, it's natural to go into that wilderness because that's a time for us to understand we're making a change and now we might have to refine our ego a little bit. And our ego goes, ouch, wait a second, I'm perfect. No, our spirit's perfect. Our spirit is perfect love, I am. So it's an opportunity for us to refine our ego. And our ego takes us to these experiences in life that we understand relationship. So it's a natural effect of change, you see? And so we got to go, so that's why I began with, change is good. This is a good thing because we're going to allow greater good to flow to us and through us. Refine our ego. So all the experiences that we have in life are opportunities for us to be who we are and then act who we are, live who we are. You see? There are opportunities. They're not punishment. And so as we begin to note our inner strength and worthiness, we are empowered, okay? And as we lift above our limited perception of change into the awareness, I am spirit, the power behind change. See, spirit's the power behind change, okay? This is what we share a lot here. Intention's the key to the universe. Energy follows thought. Spirit. You see? That's what that energy is. That's the empowering energy. The power behind change. We free ourselves to be more than the worldly way. Isn't that cool? We free ourselves to be more than the worldly way. We free ourselves from the drama of life. We've all heard this one. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. We got that? Spiritual beings having a human experience. Do we know that in our head or do we know it in our heart? Most people know it in our head. But if we know it in our heart, we know it in our life. That's the daily living. See? That's when Jesus said, be in the world, but not of the world. Don't forget who you are. Spirit. Just because you're putting on a mask, you're not the mask. You're spirit. So how can we do this? I'm going to do it real fast. Sorry. So life is love in action. We got to remember it. So this is what the teachings of Jesus at that time, so we can interpolate it now, okay? So the first thing we do is be attentive, okay? Be attentive. Be fully present, centered in your heart, because that's who we are. Yeah, here. Be centered in your heart, ready to use your abilities, okay? Be fully present, centered in your heart. Note your strengths and worthiness. Having a direction and being focused on it. Having a direction, being focused on it. And focus, focus, focus. Have we heard that? What you focus on expands. Well, what is your focus? I don't know. You're going to have I don't know experiences. You focus on something, and you're going to get on that path, and you're going to end up there. You're going to manifest it. You're going to experience that. That's being attentive to life. And then be ready. Be ready for life. See, being mindful of your resources and ready to use your abilities, you see. So we have all these resources within us. We have the abilities. We just got to give life a chance. Give life a chance, okay? Cultivate the readiness to release fear, worry, or apathy. Any state of mind that limits. Any state of mind that limits. Don't want to go into our heart? Don't listen here. Go here. We have a mind in our heart, a divine mind in our heart. Okay? Okay. Be empowered. Oh, that's a good word. Be empowered. When we surrender to God's guidance and act as love, when we surrender to God's guidance and act as love, grace is natural. And sometimes we're taught, enact grace, call forth grace. I call forth the grace of God. Because usually before that, we have kind of made some missteps or something. I'm going to call for. So it's like, when we surrender to God's guidance, what's mine to do here, God? Or just to know I am love, and that's my manifestation. Grace is natural. You see, God doesn't test us. You hear that all the time. God, that must be a test from God. No, God doesn't. God loves us. And we have to love ourselves enough to just allow that love to flow through us in whatever we're doing, you know. And then grace is natural. And then opportunities become plentiful, you see. Opportunities, plural, plentiful, a lot. How's that? And then to be unconditional love. Okay, unconditional love allows us to step outside the conditional nature of life. The conditional nature of life. Who puts conditions on life? Man, we do. So allow that grace, that love of God allows us, unconditional love, to step outside the conditions. The conditions. Now we can perceive love in any situation. See. I can only love you if you love me. Is that a condition? Yeah. We do that. You see, unconditional. We don't have to understand everyone, but when we begin to understand who they are, that they are love also, we're all on the same path, and just love them, support them. Don't have to live with them. How's that? As we break the chains of judgment and limiting beliefs, we break the chains of our body as well. Now, that's powerful, isn't it? Because don't we, on a cellular level, hold consciousness? The consciousness that we have collected all these lifetimes, and then we embody it and hold it. So when we break the chains of judgment and limiting beliefs, we break the chains of our body as well. So when we break the chains of our body as well, then we can begin to understand that we are the embodiment of love. That's revolutionary. We are the embodiment of love. So Jesus, what a great gift his life was. What a great gift his life is still with us. And love is alive. And as we allow it to move through our life, transformation is real. Okay? So let's just go within for a moment. So just close your eyes, and as you go within, just close your eyes and just begin breathing that gentle breath. And as you breathe in, ask to feel God's love. I ask to feel your love, Father. I ask to feel your love, Father. And as you breathe in God's love and ask to feel God's love, I want you to be aware of something that might not be working out quite the way you'd like it in your life. And then in your own words, you can say, I'm not feeling supported with what I'm doing now. But I love myself. So make your little statement and then say, but I love myself. I love myself. Very powerful words. Very empowering words. Very enlightening words. I may not feel loved now, but I love myself. And when we speak these words, love begins to move through our body consciousness to bring harmony and peace. I love myself. So just breathe and feel the energy of love moving through your body consciousness. I love my body. And I am free. So just breathe and feel. And in your heart, say, thank you, God. And gently open your eyes. When Jesus came to the planet and was talking with his people, this is what he said. The world has arrived at a critical stage. And today, our world has arrived at a critical stage. And he didn't look at them as victims. And we aren't to look at ourselves as victims. Our identity, spirit, love. The daily living of love is what will transform our world and the world. We have been called for the service of love now. This world needs love. But we don't got to go out into the world and save the world. In our daily living, be that seed of love, that expression of love. Love is life in action. Life is love in action. So that the three words that I hold up today on this card, love one another. Yay, God.